everyone. This is Reyes Ramirez with Fresh Arts. Welcome to the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. If you haven't been here before, what this is what's in the name, a roundup of all the resources that we have available on our artist opportunity board, and also stuff that we find around online or what we host already. So Fresh Arts is a arts nonprofit based primarily out of Houston, Texas. What we do is we provide resources such as knowledge or information or workshops, all that good stuff to creatives in hopes of advancing their creative and professional careers. If you've been here before, well, welcome back, and I hope you've been well. So today we've got a really stacked episode, so I'm just going to get right to it. For now, I'm actually going to do my fashion shout out. So you can't really see, but there you go. This is a Gonzo t-shirt that was given out specifically for Latino Arts Now, but they gave out these shirts if you registered for the conference, and they're of Gonzo 247's mural, famous mural that is downtown, and so it's really cool. I like it. And so just want to give that artist fashion shout out. I think you'd be surprised how like out there Houston artists are in terms of fashion, and so always just try to represent. And so with that, I want to kind of segue into this next thing that we're really excited to announce. And I say this because Gonzo 247 will actually be a guest on this effort that we've been doing next week. But today, already launched and premiered, is our podcast series titled "Should I or Shouldn't I?" And so we've published the first episode. We've already done a promo, but today officially is the first episode. And so you should get a link in the comments, but please give it a listen. It's the first of 6 episodes that will be premiering for the next few Thursdays. And so every Thursday, check back. You should get an update. If you signed up for the update list email newsletter, you'll be told when the podcast episode premieres each Thursday. But again, it's hosted by me, Reyes Ramirez, and we invited different artists of different backgrounds in terms of creative background, even from what city, from what different histories, what different decisions they've made in regards to creative careers. And we asked them very pertinent questions regarding artists and creative careers and decisions that, again, creatives make every day. And so we hope that this podcast illuminates different ways in which artists make those decisions, right? So today's episode is Should I or Shouldn't I Go Full-Time with My Creative Practice? Which is a very important, pertinent question that artists ask themselves every day. And so we invited Isis Fernandez Rojas, who is a writer, and Justin Garcia, who is an artist. And they have different ideas because they made different decisions. And yet they're both really great at what they do. And you might actually find some divergences and even some agreements on what that looks like. And so again, give it a listen. We're really proud of it, and we think you'll like it. And let us know if you do. If you do listen to it, just give us a shout out. But it is you can hear it on Buzzsprout primarily, and I will do a quick share screen to kind of show you what it looks like. And there you go. You should get a link soon. And it's also on the website, our podcast. And again, you can listen to the first episode right here. But it's also listenable on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all this good stuff. So we made sure to round out as much of our bases as we could. And with that, when you listen, you'll actually get a sample of an original song that we commissioned Nick Gaitan, who is a local Houston musician, to create a song for the intro of this show, of the podcast. And so with that, please support Nick Gaitan. He's an amazing musician, recording artist. If you have any music needs, please contact him. And in fact, this weekend, he will be playing at the East End Street Fest. Let me, if I can just show you that real quick. And so definitely check this out. This is eastendstreetfest.com. And we have our man right here, Nick Gaitan, who will be performing his amazing, amazing music. And so with that being said, please support your local artists, buy their merch, listen to their music, all that good stuff. And so now we're going to get into the deadline sharing. So these are deadlines that are coming up in October and pretty much the first kind of week of November, just because our resource roundup is the first Thursday, and sometimes it's not on the first. And so I'm going to share some deadlines with you that are coming up that you should definitely take advantage of if you qualify for them. So I'm going to share my screen with that. All right. So the first thing up we have is the Bennett Prize. The Bennett Prize awards $50,000 to a woman artist to create her own solo exhibition of figurative realist paintings, which will travel the country. So it's primarily for painters, and it's primarily for figurative realist painters, which realistically depicts the human figure or figures, and that is central to the work. So if you do that kind of art, definitely check this out. I believe they may have made it more affordable. So originally it says $50, but then I think they changed it to $25 when I looked it up. And so again, always verify that information first. But again, it's 50 grand. Again, that's up for grabs. So definitely check this out. And that is due October 16th, so tomorrow. Up next, we have Artist Boat, which is a nonprofit based primarily out of Galveston. And they're looking for an eco art educator. So this is an open position, 2 open positions. And they're looking for someone who has an emphasis on visual art, but also incorporates conservation and biology skills. So this is a kind of an educator role, and it focuses a lot on the environment. So if you're into that, if you love the open water, if you love working with people and educating people, definitely check this one out. This is the Artist Boat Eco Art Educator opening. Up next is an opportunity we mentioned in the last resource roundup, but it's only because they extended the deadline. So this is due on October 19th. This is Hand Paper Making Black Writers Fellowships, a researcher and reporter. So if you're a writer and you're interested in particularly working with anything in regards to the craft, kind of art making world, then this is for you. So they're looking for a researcher and a reporter to either write an article that is both long form and short form. The reporter will receive $300 and the research stipend up to $150, and the researcher will receive $1,000 and $1,000 for expenses incurred. So again, there's no fee to apply, and this is Hand Paper Making Black Writers Fellowships. So if you qualify and if you're interested, definitely do it. Next up is actually a local opportunity. This is the Ranch Houston. The Ranch Houston is having a socially distant outdoor event, and it is of Ashe Yoga, and they're looking for installations. They're looking for outdoor sculptures, land art, land-based art, short video pieces, and any art that can be hung on a clothing line. And so my friend Leticia Contreras let me know about this, but this is the Ranch Houston. Up next, we have Artist Relief Cycle 7. This is a grant that is for artists experiencing dire financial emergencies during the COVID-19 crisis. And so they define dire financial emergencies as the lack or imminent endangerment of essentials such as housing, medicine, childcare, and food. So this fund is ongoing. The deadline for this is October 21st. So if you need it, please apply. And up next that's due October 25th is the Arts District Houston Virtual Performances and Arts District Houston Request for Proposals. And we actually have a special guest with us to kind of give more insight into what that is. And so, Angela, please let on Julia. Yo,
Hi,
Julia,
Liz.
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So if you could please talk about first, what is the Arts District, Houston?
Sure. The Arts District is a state designated cultural district that's in the heart of the city. It encompasses two of Houston's oldest neighborhoods, the Old Sixth Ward and parts of the First Ward. And it's a place where there are hundreds of artist studios and also a number of really amazing public art projects for people to experience.
Yeah, could you give an idea of like what those public art projects the Arts District has done so far? I
Sure.
particularly love the Golby Deal piece that's, I believe, in Brock Park. Uh, what are some other ones that you can name?
Yeah, so the Colby Deal piece is actually kind of related to this opportunity in that it is in Richard Brock Park, and it depicts it's a huge portrait of a woman from the neighborhood who is a community leader and got the park renamed for Richard Brock. Her name is Cleola Williams. And that's an interesting one too, because it's a photographic mural. Most of the murals that we have are more painterly, but there are lots of painted murals, many of them having to do with the history of the neighborhood. And we've also done things like musical and dance performances.
Yeah, no, I love the Jasmine Zelaya piece. I love what's the one that's on Stanton City?
Oh, Vivian Dang,
Yeah,
the artist.
yeah, I love that one. That's facing, I believe, I forget what street. It might be facing Washington. I forget. But I mean, it's just because it's one of those things you pass up all the time. You don't notice it um, until someone points it out to you. But I think um, on that note, could you kind of go into what this opportunity is, the virtual performances?
Sure. Um, I think this is a really exciting project and a unique project in the district. So, like I said, a lot of these murals are having to do with the history of this neighborhood. And this is another project that has to do with that. But we're looking for two performers. We want to commission two virtual performances that would debut in December. And it's a partnership with students from the U of H Public History Department. And so they are going to be doing research that involves oral history interviews with people from the neighborhood, and also looking into archives, old photos, other kinds of resources that they can get from places like the Houston Metropolitan Research Center. So they're collecting all of the historical material that will then be turned over to the artists so that they have inspiration for these two virtual performances. And the performances should be specifically be related to these two public spaces, one in First Ward, one in Sixth Ward. There's Richard Brock Park that we talked about before, and Dow Park, which is connected to the old Dow School building that now houses NECA.
Cool. So when you say virtual performances, do you mean you have to be a dancer? Do you have to be a spoken word artist? Is there kind of like a limit on what those creative practices are?
It's very open. Really, the only constraint is the subject matter, and that is dealing with the legacy of the neighborhood. But these short form virtual performances could be anything from a song made up by a musician, dance, a theatrical vignette, performance art. It really runs the gamut.
That's awesome. And so, is there anything that you would particularly like to see? I'm actually like a huge fan, like obviously of the history of the Dow School, just in terms of what it was and what it is now. Are there any spots that you like in the Arts District?
I love the old Sixth Ward. I'm from San Antonio originally, and so I have a really soft place in my heart for old neighborhoods with those kind of wood frame houses. And it's something that I miss being in Houston, where there's a lot of new stuff going up all the time. But this is a really well preserved, charming old neighborhood where the houses are still standing. So I like to just walk around and look at the houses and look at the yards and people's trees and those kinds of things. Um, so the deadline is October 25th. It's coming up really fast. Um, the artists do not have to have a full-blown proposal, but they need to send some examples of their work and indicate a preference of whether they want to work on the project in the first ward or the sixth ward. And that's just in case there are artists, you know, local artists who may have roots in one of those neighborhoods, then it would be great if they got to choose their own neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess I asked that question because there's just so much history in these neighborhoods. And so there's a lot to work with. So artists get on it. Julia, thank you so much for illuminating this resource. And I hope we get a lot of bites.
Yes, thank you. And it's free to apply. And there is a stipend for the artists. So please apply. We'd love to see your work. Thanks, Rahis.
Thank you, Julia. And there you go. And so again, lots of history to work with in the Arts District. And I think this is a really great opportunity in terms of the openness of who can apply. And again, so if you're based in these neighborhoods, if you know someone, let them know. And to kind of provide some more details, there will be a stipend that's provided with each project. And so again, definitely check out our website to get more details on that. All right, I'm going to go back to share my screen to finish out the rest of the resource roundup in regards to what is coming up in terms of deadlines. Again, also coming up on October 26th is the 2021-2022 Zocalo Artist Residency Open Call. This one is an interesting one because you get 3 artists will receive fully funded residency positions, including 2 6-month and a single 1-year term. Essentially, you get a living space for free. So you get free housing, $250 monthly stipend, exhibition space, and hands-on support from the full-time residency staff. So definitely check that out. This is based in Houston, Texas. It is due Monday, October 26th. Up next, we have Thought Blossoms. This is a opening for a part-time jewelry office assistant. And so if you do metal work, jewelry assembly, tool maintenance, all that stuff, this position is open, and they will be taking applications until October 28th. That is a Wednesday. It is a part-time 8 to 10 total hours per week. Up next, we have the Houston Center for Photography 2021 Annual Fellowship Awards. This is due October 28th. And so this, what this opportunity does is selects an expert. It selects an expert writer, critic, or curator to identify 2 artists from hundreds of submissions who exemplify excellence and innovation in their approaches to new photography. So this is for photographers. and they are choosing one Houston-based artist, and they define that as residing within a 100-mile radius of Houston, and they will receive the fellowship, which will be $3,000. And so definitely, if you're a photographer, you also have to at least have a membership with the Houston Center for Photography, and that is a $40 membership fee. So either way, you're supporting the Houston Center for Photography if you apply. Up next, we have Exile Books. This opportunity is closing on Sunday, October 30th. And what they're doing is they're offering honorariums for zines. So if you're a zine maker, please take advantage of this. If you upload your zine, you will be eligible for an honorarium of between $100 to $500. The pool serves as an open-ended submissions database for jury selections for special projects, as well as a virtual zine library. It's free to submit, and they're looking for certain kind of zines, and so definitely look through this. But this is for zine makers. Up next, we have the Baker Ripley COVID-19 Rental Assistance Program. This is generally open to the public, but artists are also eligible, so we feel like you should know about this. And so Harris County provided $40 million in funding, and the City of Houston provided $20 million in funding, which will be distributed to participating landlords on behalf of eligible tenants. So tenants whose landlords agree to the program terms may apply for rental assistance for past due rent. So if you need it, please look into this program. I believe it's on a rolling basis until the funds run out. So please apply when you can. This is closing on October 31st. And then also closing on October 31st is the Black Sheep Agency opening for a creative director. So if you're good at marketing, if you're good at creating strategies for marketing and brands, definitely check out Black Sheep Agency. They do a lot of good work with nonprofits, but also they're looking for an opening for a creative director. So that is due. They're taking applications until Saturday, October 31st. On November 1st, we have the application deadline for the Artadia Awards. And so each year they have an open call application in each of their 6 active partner cities. Houston is one of them, one of the partner cities that is eligible for this award. And so what they receive of the selected finalists, the jury will designate 3 awardees to receive unrestricted funds of up to $10,000, as well as access to a lifetime of programs that offer critical dialogue and exposure. So if you are a contemporary visual artist, which is making artwork for a presentation in a contemporary art context, such as a museum, gallery, art nonprofit, the public art realm, then definitely take advantage of this one. And you have to have resided in Houston for at least 2 years. So again, it's free to apply, and you get up to 10 grand. And finally, we have the NXTHVN 2021-2022 Studio and Curatorial Fellowships. What this does is it's a fellowship and kind of a residency program where each June NXTHVN welcomes up to 7 artists, 2 curators, and 8 New Haven high school students to its annual fellowship and apprenticeship programs. And what this does is it provides a stipend, partially subsidized housing in Dixwell, New Haven, dedicated work and or studio space with 24-hour access, and monthly professional development workshops facilitated by field experts. And it's, I believe, a year long. So you have to complete it's an 11-month long residency program and relocation to New Haven. I think it's a really interesting opportunity that provides quite a bit. So that is due Sunday, November 1st. And so there you have it. Those are some upcoming deadlines that are on the Artist Opportunity Board. So again, please apply. We love to hear when Houston artists get some sort of recognition or achievement. So if you have received any recognition or achievement, let us know, and we'll gladly shout you out. We'll gladly shout out anything that you have going on. That's what we're here for. We're here to support artists. So let us know whenever you can. And if you're applying to any of this stuff, not only let us know if you receive any kind of success, but also if you never applied to these sorts of things, well, we have you covered. We have a series of downloadable toolkits that do a number of things, one of which is how do you do a grant proposal? How do you write an artist statement or a bio that a lot of these opportunities ask for? And so I'll show you that real quick on what that looks like. And so if you go to our website, fresharts.org, and you just go to Succeed as an Artist, you go to the Artist Resource Library, you'll find these downloadable toolkits. And again, as I said before, you have the Intro to Grant Proposal Writing, which is written by me, actually. We have Project Budgeting Tips and Templates, was actually written by Julia, who was on earlier. How to Write an Artist Statement and Bio, which was written by Isis Fernandez Rojas, who is a guest on the podcast that published today. And so we have a pretty good basis covered if you've never applied to any grants before. And if you have, these will definitely give you a new perspective or ideas on how to write or continue writing grants. So definitely check these out. These are free to access. And if you're a different kind of learner, if you're more of a, you have to look at something in terms of like someone has to explain something to you, we actually have them in video format on our Facebook page. And so we'll link those below. But again, we have a virtual workshop on Intro to Grant Proposal Writing taught by me. And we have, again, the Project Pivoting on Certain Times, which is based off of the Project Budget Toolkit. So that is also hosted by Julia Barbosa Lendois. So we have you covered. And so there you have it. We hope this has been a really, really informational episode for you. Again, please check out our podcast. It's something that we can't wait for you to hear. And in the coming weeks, you'll have more episodes. Today is, again, should I or shouldn't I go full-time with my creative practice? I believe the second episode, if I remember correctly, will be should I or shouldn't I move to another city for its art scene? With that one will feature Gonzo247 and Ashley De Hoyos, a curator for diverse works. So stay tuned to that, and we hope you like it. We know we do. And so let us know. And so that's it. That's been the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. Apply, get out there, and let us know. So thank you. Good luck. Stay safe. Stay well. Thank you to everyone that's participated in the podcast. Thank you to Angela for all the background work that you do. And thank you, listener, for tuning in. So see you next time.